What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to the SEC Championship Review Edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Matt, Kevin, what's up, fellas?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, Brian?
Doing great, my friend. Doing great. Doing a lot better than I was this time last year, my friend.
Yes.
And we're going to get into it deep. Got a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to recap the big win against the LSU Tigers and get into some of the awards that some of our players have been nominated for and who have also won. So we'll definitely be able to do that. And then we're going to take some guests on the show to share their feelings and their comments about the team and what we should expect going forward. So before we get into it, let me do a few housekeeping tidbits that we always do, and I forget to do them. But if this is your first time on the show, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to give StreamYard permission to show your photo and your name and your comment on the screen. We want to know who's talking to us and who's commenting. And to be able to use your name and your face, we got to get your permission. But go there, give StreamYard permission to use your information, and we'd be glad to take your comments on the show. In addition, if you'd like to be on the show or you have an item or a product or a business that you'd like to promote, hit us up at middlegeorgiadogpound@gmail.com. In addition to that, we've got our annual Pick'em Bowl competition going on. Mr. Matt's put it out there for you guys today on the Facebook page. The games are there. Go on, copy those games, give us your predictions, and email them to middlegeorgiadogpound@gmail.com. That's middle GA, dog spelled like it should be, DAWG, pound@gmail.com, and we will get you in the hunt to win the prize at the end of the season. Now, Mr. Matt, what was the cutoff date on that?
I believe it is the 15th.
Okay, 15th, guys. Get your bowl predictions in early, and then that way we can tally up who is the winner. So I know last year we had a gift card for a couple of guys. I think Ken Lalonde was a winner last year. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So before we came on the show, we were talking a little bit about where we were this time last year and how we were feeling. And guys, I never, ever want to forget that feeling. I never want to take it for granted. And because of that, I pulled some snips from our show from last year. And I know a lot of our listeners that are watching today probably were not here last year, but we were pretty dejected. And I want to give you an opportunity to take a listen and what the show was like this time last year. I don't know. I don't know what else to say
other than
I
I
was just really disappointed, and I guess that's okay. You know, that's what it means to be a good fan.
good fan.
To be there and be again. But you see what I'm still wearing, and I got it right here. Still got the G, and I still got my flag up. It's gonna be there, and I'm gonna support them, win or lose, and. Like I said, I'm going to be a dog until I die. I bleed red and black, and I always have, and I always will. And there's a lot of people out there that are fair weather fans or weekend fans. So this weekend, Alabama's winning, so I'm going to be an Alabama fan. Next weekend, Georgia's winning, so I'm going to be a Georgia fan. Well, that's not me. I mean, it's red and black all the way, and it's just the way it's going to be, and that's the way it will always be. And if we don't win a national championship this year, I'm not going to say we're never going to do it, because I never thought the Braves were going to win one ever again either. So it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen on Kirby's watch. But when we do, the floodgates are going to open, and y'all better hold on, because it's going to be one wild ride for about 10 years. I'm tired of getting that. I'm tired of getting that embarrassed, and I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it, and I don't know what else that we can do other than just keep supporting our team. Yeah. And that was one thing that I was going to say, is that we wanted to have people on. I'd love to have whoever wanted to come on and talk, but I don't want to have somebody come on and bash our players. That's not what we want to have happen, because I mean, I went to college and I didn't have to play sports, and I know how hard it was. I can't imagine being a college athlete, trying to keep up my classes and my grades and go to practice and play games. It's a lot to juggle. And I admire these guys for what they do and appreciate them. And I definitely don't want to bash them.
Because they feel way worse than we do.
Yeah.
Those guys feel way worse than we do. And ultimately, one of the things I appreciated more than anything else is it reminded me of why I am so involved with this team, and with the family of Georgia Bulldog fans, and why I started out with this Facebook group, because I had a bunch of people who just love the team, and so I want to discuss about, and develop relationships with.
If you guys will be patient with me, I got one more video.
No, I think you hit it on the head, Brian. There's a lot of good things to be excited about. We cannot forget those the last. I mean, I'm going to say the last 13. I mean, the 13 previous games before this. The great bowl game we had, the win we had to finish out the last year's season against Cincinnati, and these 12 games this year. We have had a lot of excitement. We've had a lot of things go in a positive way for us that we weren't expecting, and I think we expected a normal Georgia season where we have 6-7 wins, and then we have a bad loss, then we win more and get SEC championship game. But we dominated all year long. Solid defense that we'll probably never see again on that field, that dominant all year long. And so we have a lot to appreciate. And so we talked about it early on. We need to take each game by each game, because before you know it, the season will be over with. And look at us. We have 2 more games left, and the season will be over with. And then we'll be standing still for 3 months, waiting on spring practice to start. And then from then, we're waiting for another 3 months for the game to start again. So, I mean, we need to enjoy and relish these times we got the chance to watch these games, because we know what we'll be doing after the season's over with. We'll be watching all these games again on YouTube and going back through and watching them again to celebrate that time. So if you get a chance now to see it, you get to see it live. I mean, celebrate it. Be happy to see these guys play, because a lot of these guys are going to be gone, leaving off, they're graduating, and guys going off to NFL, and we're not going to be able to see them in the red and black anymore. So we really need to truly, like you're saying, Brian, relish these time to watch these phenomenal players, and be able to look back and tell kids and grandkids. We'll be on the show here, when we're older, talking about what happened in the 2021 season. Where were you at when we watched Georgia win the national championship after that brutal loss, right? How did you feel after that brutal loss? And we talk about these people, we asked them about the Florida game. How was it to be there when you watched Scott, Lindsey Scott, watch that. How did it make you feel? Now we're going to be able to say, how did it make you feel when you saw Alabama skull stomp us across the field and then come back and then beat them in the national championship game on January 10th? That's going to be the story we're going to be able to share, moving forward. And so I think we just need to suck up the loss. If you're a Georgia fan, you should be used to it by now. And let's just move forward for the next win.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I never want to forget that feeling, man. I never want to stop being humble. When you stop being humble, you start being like the Alabama fans, and you think you deserve a win or you deserve a championship every year. We don't deserve it. But it sure is nice to be 13-0 right now, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. And Matt wasn't wrong about one thing. I did go back and watch those championship games over and over and over and over again through the summertime.
Yep, absolutely. I never want to forget that season, and we're in another magical season right now with being 13-0, and our Dogs finish on top on Saturday, SEC champs. We're living in the good old days to where we'll be able to, like Matt says, stand back and sit back and tell our grandkids, hey, I was there when this happened. I was there when Georgia couldn't beat Alabama, and then we just knew they were going to win in the SEC championship, and we got skull stomped, but we came back and got them and got our national championship. So it is good stuff, my friend. It is very good stuff, and I'm happy to be a Dog fan at this time of our team's life and this period of time, because it is a lot of fun. That is for dang sure. Well, I want to get to some of our guys' comments on the show. I know that Ken Lalonde's already commented. He says SEC champs, yes sir. And John Akaki says natty tickets for SoFi in Inglewood, California, January the 9th. Thoughts? Price range $450 to $750 each.
Hey, we'd be happy if you buy some tickets and fly us out there, John.
That's right, Mr. Dosickies. John Akaki says shaving party coming soon. Buddy, I sure do hope so.
Yeah,
I sure do hope so.
Man, I was thinking about that today. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about oh my gosh, how pissed off are our wives gonna be when we shave our faces?
I don't know. Jenny might be a little bit happy. I had this beard for a long time.
So Georgia's the winningest class in Georgia history. That's pretty darn exciting, guys. I'm not sure who posted this, but they said, "Go Dogs." Oh, I remember the feeling last year. Little did we know what was in store. John Akaki says, I can buy 2 tickets by 5 p.m. on December the 9th. How about that? And then this person said, I don't know who this is, says, y'all are going to be uglier than you already are when you shave.
That's my wife, I think.
Might be. Well, guys,
that was Richard Fields who put those
okay, I got you. Awesome. Well, guys, let's run those victory highlights, and then we'll bring some folks on to share some comments from the game and their feelings. How about it?
Do it.
You guys earned the right to be here today. Remember where it all started at? Where did it all start at? Right here, guys, first of the season. I want you to look to the man to your left and your right and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You see these guys right here? These guys been in this game before. This game's about them. This game's about those 5 guys that been here a bunch. It's for them. Enough is enough. And today, it's about us and how we play.
And this team gets what? You get one shot. You get one shot of the SEC. You get one shot today. Make every minute of this game count.
Today, we know it's about physicality.
Yeah, dog.
We want to make it a what? Connected assault. Again and again and again and again. Connected.
They'll try a field goal from the 22, and the Dogs block it. The ball is rolling dead at the 4-yard line. The Dogs block the 32-yard field goal try. Christopher Smith has picked up the ball and has run the length of the field for a touchdown. We throw it to Bowers, catches it at the 1, turns and scores. Touchdown, Georgia. Pass is broken up at the 28.
It hit his helmet. That ball never touched the ground.
Second quarter, Milton's in the backfield. Ben throws for the end zone and caught. McConkey at the 1. Touchdown, Lad McConkey. And they hand it off to Williams. And we hit it behind the line. And it's 4th down and 3. Throws it over the middle. Big O touchdown. Simple as that. And that's 6 more for the Dogs.
We too strong.
Fires it over the middle. Wide open. Touchdown, Dylan Bell. Big hole. Milton. 45-50. 45-40. Bennett. Snap. In the shotgun. Kenny Mack runs straight ahead. And touchdown. Straight down the hash mark. 7, 5, 3, 1. Pylon. Touchdown. Kenny McIntosh solved the problem. Dogs are going to go for 2 here, leading at 48-23. And we run a reverse, and then we throw it with A.D. Mitchell to Big Darnell Washington in the end zone. Let's go! Let's go! Meyer to throw towards the end zone, and picked off. Intercepted a yard deep in the end zone. And he's going to be sacked. The ball came out. Georgia goes reaching for it on the ground. Georgia is your 2022 SEC football champions.
I love you guys. Get a picture of the SEC team, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Want to welcome into the show Mr. Matt. Matt, I know you asked to come on, man. Tell us what this SEC championship meant to you, and kind of what your feelings about the rest of the season. What do you think we should expect?
I mean, it's really just to me as if 12-0 wasn't already sweet enough as it was. You know, you just tack that on, and it just makes it that much more sweeter. I think that our guys have just gelled the way they have, especially after losing the amount of guys we lost to the NFL the way we did. I think it's just absolutely amazing that we've came back and that we're still just as strong as ever. And I mean, and maybe in some cases, depending on the side of the ball, we're even stronger than we were last year when we won the Natty. So I think it's just really, it just really gives me a big vote of confidence just going forward, looking ahead to Ohio State, and then onward from there. So yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm psyched, man. I think it's great.
Yeah, me too, man. How do you think we stack up against the worthless Buckeyes?
I think, obviously, defensively, we clearly have the edge. I mean, I think that pretty much kind of goes without saying. Offensively, I think we hang right in there. I think their quarterback, their offensive line is very good. They're very strong, and they're capable of putting up points too. So I mean, we have to be our defensive guys, and this guy right here, for whom I wear this jersey here, he's going to have a better game this next week than he did in the SEC championship game, and but those things happen. So I think going forward, I think we step our defense up like we played in the Tennessee game, dude. It's gonna be a long night for Ohio State. So
absolutely. Well, John Akaki says, is Matt Ringo or A.D. Mitchell?
This is Kaylee Ringo. So I'm a defensive guy. So.
Gotcha. I got you. Well, cool, man. We do appreciate you coming on and sharing a few thoughts. But we definitely are in the same agreement with you that it's very surprising that we lost as much talent as we did and right. Still have showed out as much as we have. So
right.
Cool beans, man. Well, Hey, if there's anybody out there else that would like to jump on, I posted the link in the comments portion of the show. So just click that link and come on in. We'll be glad to take your comments and give you an opportunity to talk on the show. Thanks for coming on, bud.
You bet. Anytime.
Well, let's catch a few comments here. Let's see. Hunter Ivy says 2022 SEC champs. I said it in the Oregon show. I said we were going 15-0, and there's only 2 more left. And Bill Krug says it's about time. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
It's
Maybe
about time we got that SEC championship.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
got you. Josh Hill says my heart races just seeing some of these plays again. Yeah, absolutely. He says goosebumps. Yep.
Yeah,
So there's that.
If you missed the watch party that we had watching the championship game, you missed a fun time. We had a bunch of good folks out there, good food, good time, good brotherhood. And if you missed it, you need to join us for the next one. It was a real fun time.
Best part is seeing your guy's dad run that flag back and forth across the yard.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That's a memory I'll never forget. I wish we had got a video of that.
Awesome. Yeah, John Morgan says he's here. What's up, John? It's good to have you on. Hey, if you guys don't know who John Morgan is, all these great graphics that you see us throw up, he is our design guy, and we couldn't be where we are. That design, the Middle Georgia Dog Pound, John Morgan. We could not be where we are without him.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate you, John. And so
sure.
we definitely want to give you a little love, dude. Don't do me like that. Let's see. Bill Krug says, I don't agree about the O being better this year. Kirby was just afraid to turn the dogs loose. We could have done this last year just as good as this year. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. So looks like we got Mr. Hunter Ivy in the background. But before we bring him on, I'm going to throw another little video up of Chris Smith talking about what happened with the block punt.
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal moment, but it's a moment that we go over as a team about every 3 weeks. Coach Smart always shows like block field goals and how it could go wrong and what to do in certain situations. So I knew that if the ball crossed the line of scrimmage, I was able to pick it up. But the rule is don't pick it up if you can't score. Well, we know what happened with that, and just a few guys on the sideline were like, no. But it was just too good to be true. I bent down, I looked at the referee, and he looking like, go ahead. And so basically, I just picked it up and just went all the way with it. It was a special moment for sure.
Thought that was a pretty good video of Chris Smith just kind of walking us through what was going through his head when that ball bounced right in front of him, and he's like, what do I do, right? So cool deal. Hunter, it's so good to have you on, man.
What's up,
We missed you the other night. I'm sure Disney on Ice was just more than amazing.
I heard it was ice capades.
There was nothing better than Disney on Ice. Nothing better happening that night.
I did watch the first half, and then by then it was 35-10. I said, "It's done." So
I love it. What did you take away from the game, man?
Oh, finally they won the SEC. I'm surprised 2017 was the last one. We played well, especially offense. We got off to a fast start. Plus the Chris Smith return, blocked field goal, and the interception bouncing off the helmet. I've never seen anything like that in any other game I've ever watched. I mean, Kirby, defensively, though, they gave up just a little too much passing yards. But other than that, I thought they played a very good game for the most part. The rush defense was amazing, as it always is.
Yeah, I totally agree. We definitely turned it on. I thought our offensive line played extremely well.
Extremely well, too. The offensive well.
Yes, sir. We did not have any sacks on Stetson Bennett, which was absolutely amazing, considering all the smack talk that was coming from LSU. So good stuff. Well, how do we stack up against Ohio State, my friend?
Ohio State cannot match us physically at all. They can't. The one team they played worth playing was Michigan, and they got drugged in Ohio State. They're coming to Atlanta. Let's go. Bring it on.
That's right.
By
Yeah,
30.
I like it. I like it. It's basically a home game for us, right?
Basically a home game. They
Yep.
can't match us physically. They can't.
I like it.
And we have the defense to stop Stroud. I don't think they have the defense to stop Stetson, who will win the Heisman.
I like it. I like it.
Clean sweep for Stetson. SEC champion, Heisman, and Dogs go 15-0. I'm calling it now.
I like it. I like it. Good deal, man. Good deal. Well, thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to have, go ahead and announce it now. We are going to do another watch show as long as the weather will cooperate on December the 31st. If you guys can be here, please come. We had a great time. I guess we had about 20, 25 folks show up. We would love to have you come and enjoy the game with us and enjoy some fellowship. And we'll definitely put on a show running that flag back and forth every time that Georgia scores a touchdown on those worthless nuts. So we'll look to see you out here, man. Have a good one.
I did. Yeah, I'm not going to Disney on Ice. It was good. The kids were happy, but I had more important issues. But hey, I didn't pay for the tickets; they were free. So
there you go.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, bud. Well, you have a good night.
You too.
All right. Good deal, man. Let's catch a few more comments here. Let's see. Josh Hill says, Dooley and every previous UGA were cheering down from heaven. Yeah, I totally agree that. Every UGA, I guess he was talking about. Yep. Ken Lalonde says, we will beat Ohio State on both lines. I like it. John Akaki says, Stroud is not a running QB. Yeah, that is for sure. That's right. He is going to have a rough day if he hangs in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Krug says, Twinkle Toes Ivy. I like it. John Akaki says Hunter's still on ice. That's funny. Fun. Well, guys, Kevin, tell me what you took away, man. What was your best play? What was anything you want to share? Just jump in here and let's roll with it.
It was unbelievable. And, I've been preaching this from multiple games that we've got to come out and start fast, start hard from the very jump of the game. And our first drive was kind of lackluster, and it had me concerned once again. And leaned over to a buddy of mine that was at the party with us, and I said, they're going to try my patience tonight. Well, next thing I know, they let LSU drive all the way down, and they blocked the punt. Blocked the field goal. And from that point on, it was like a light switch. It had flipped, and it seemed as though they were unstoppable. And something that Ray said to me at the game, he says, sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. And let's face it, we had a blocked field goal that we scored on. We had a turnover that bounced off the helmet of an LSU player. That's the kind of stuff that used to happen to us during those games. And wondering how the other team could be so lucky. We got lucky on a couple of plays that just turned out big for us. And it seemed like everything was going our way. And then the second half is like the defense just kind of took their foot off the brake pedal. And they had I'll hand it to the backup quarterback, man. For LSU, he came in and balled out. I'll give him props for that, because can you imagine being a backup coming into the SEC championship game, and he was slinging the ball. But I think it kind of caught our defensive guys off guard, and that's the thing that Kirby was not happy with at the end of the game. He preached mightily on, and this is not going to be accepted. We're going to go back to work. We're going to get these things fixed. and it may be a good thing that they went ahead and those things were revealed in this game, and they can go back, watch film, and get them corrected in practice, and not allow those things to happen against Ohio State and whoever we play, whether it be TCU or Michigan afterwards, because I really have full confidence that we will be moving on to the championship game. I don't think I'm with Hunter Ivy. I don't think that Ohio State can match up with the physical, our physicality on both sides of the ball. I mean, these guys from our running backs have dialed up their play, and that was something earlier on in the season that we discussed. And we had a big running game. I can't remember what the yards were. I think it was over 200 yards rushing in this game, was it not? Am I correct in saying that?
Like 220,
yeah.
So much.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge in a championship game to have over 200 yards rushing. It's just on both sides of the ball. It's just amazing. The brotherhood that these guys play with, it just, they back each other. I think that's our biggest play that we gave up right there. That was it. But those are things that can be corrected, and that's why they have film sessions, and they'll go back to work.
Yep, absolutely. Mr. Matt, I know what your best play of the game was, because you told me you enjoyed this very much, and I'm fixing to put it up on the screen here for everybody to see. There it is. He says, "I'd like to thank the SEC for this wonderful championship trophy." Yeah, good stuff, Matt. Take it away, man. What did you take away from the game?
So, yes, just some of the things to piggyback off of what Kevin was saying is, if we look at those drives, like the big drive you saw there, I mean, that drive that came downfield and scored on, you got to realize that defense was on the field for 22 out of those 26 plays. In the first 2-3 drives of the game, our defense was on the field for 22 out of those 26 plays. So they were kind of burnt a little bit. And look, we were up. The block field goal helped a little bit to bring those points in, but they were burnt a little bit on that. After the offense started going and gave them a break, you saw we shut them down. So it wasn't until the second half where they gave all those points away. But once again, we were playing that, they're going to pass the ball on us. We're going to play the safe, pass protective game, try to keep everything in front of us and do their thing. And you guys there who were there with me at the watch party, how I was so frustrated how we just kept sending 4, and every time we sent 5, what happened?
We'd get to them.
Yep.
Or something, or it was an interception. I mean, it was something like that where we had a pressure on the quarterback. So we're going to see a lot of that, I think, in the next game as well. But ultimately, I'm excited about it. I think, it was good to watch the total team play. Like I said, Kevin said, echo him. The team was very balanced. 200 plus yards rushing, 200 yards passing. Very balanced team. Everybody got involved. We don't have one dominant player. It was really good to see that kind of play. I know I'm not sure how relevant it is, but I enjoy seeing AD Mitchell come in there and throw that pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it meant so much to him for that to happen, and it was funny. We were watching some of the post reporting stuff, and Kirby looks over at Stetson and he goes, "Me and AD have something that you'll never have. We have 1,000% passing rating." And so that's something like that is pretty cool to see them kind of have fun with it. It's still not it's work, but they're having fun with it. So I enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I had a couple points I wrote down, and I wanted to get you guys' take on it. But how last year I felt like that this was probably the most connected team that we ever had in Georgia history. Do you feel like that maybe this year's team is performing better simply because this is a more connected coaching staff?
Coaching staff? Yes, probably so.
Yeah.
I don't think players, as like you said, the players aren't as connected as the players were last year. But yes, coaching staff-wise, 100% agree with you.
Yeah, and I pulled a video down so you guys can watch it about Kirby right after the Chick-fil-A game with Oregon, and just take a listen to this.
Our staff is the best it's ever been. We got a great staff right now, and it's awesome because we got a great. We've always had good staff, but we've got a really great staff right now in terms of guys enjoying to work together and putting plans together. And I thought they did a great job of doing that. Good time.
So Kirby talks about that right at the beginning of the year, and then Todd Monken just recently at the Broyles Award ceremony, he talks about the connection that the staff has. So take a listen to this.
And then a chance to come to Georgia, I landed on third base. I wasn't like TCU, wasn't like at Knoxville. I came into a culture that was already established and really good players. And all we had to do is fight like hell to make it better. And that doesn't mean my whole career I've landed on third base, for God's sakes. I worked my ass off, okay? Let's at least be honest here. But I am very appreciative of opportunities that I've gotten. And one thing about it is I'm just a byproduct of our players, Kirby Smart and the culture, and our coaching staff. And I've been doing this a long time and been around a lot of great coaches, and my whole family's in coaching. And there's nobody I trust more than Kirby Smart in terms of we're going to win, we're going to work, we're going to recruit. And that's over 56 years. And I want to thank our staff. And, when we played the other day, I always have believed this, that I see an offensive staff as like a rock band or a group, that you need every piece of it, that you take the collective strength of the staff and give them pieces of it, and then you just coordinate it as best you can. Because it takes everybody. It takes songwriters, it takes the musicians, and they're the ones that make it come to life. The first 2 touchdown passes we threw the other day, those were Mike Bobo's ideas. Those weren't mine. The third touchdown pass was Ryan Williams, an analyst. It wasn't my idea. Someone else's idea. We just fought like hell during the week to see if we could make it right. So very, very lucky in that regard.
So I played those videos for you guys to just take an appreciation for what Kirby has built here. Kevin talks about it all the time, that it's like a Death Star, and it really is. I mean, the pieces of the puzzle that's been put together is just astounding. To have 2 former OCs on our staff helping to develop plays and do as an analyst, it's just huge, man. It's something that other programs don't have. And I think you and I talked about this the other day, Matt. I just don't see Todd Monken going anywhere. If anything, he's going to get another big raise this year, and we're going to lock him in, and he's completely happy. I don't know, even in the NFL, if he's had this much talent compiled together to do whatever he wants to do. And it shows. You've seen it on the videos. That guy is having a blast in the box. I've never seen an offensive coordinator celebrate more than that guy right there.
It comes down to, it's like if you're having this much success and you've got this talent that Kirby is amassing, why go somewhere else and have to deal with the headache that you would have to deal with as a head coach when you can work under a head coach who deals with all that headache for you?
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Well, let's catch a few comments here before I get too far ahead. Bill Krug said Matt's pick will be the pick of the season for eternity unless some better comes up the next 2 games. Loved his sack, and it shows. Hunter Ivy says, I hope we can keep this staff together. Totally agree. Ken Lalonde says, coaching staff and complementary football, defense lifts offense and offense carries defense. That comes from the coaches down. Yep, totally agree. If you guys, there was some things in that video I couldn't play on air because it was very rough language. But if you get an opportunity, go back and listen to that interview with Coach Monken, that speech. It was very profound, and you'll learn a lot about the guy and why he is the way he is. So take a moment to go back, pull that up on YouTube, and if you need the link, hit me up. I'll send it to you. John Akaki says, experiencing knowing experience knowing what it takes in order to win. Yep, I agree. So, there's a few plays that I will never forget. Sitting here talking about plays, there's a few plays that I'll never forget for the rest of my days. The touchdown that Stetson Bennett threw to A.D. Mitchell, the Ringo pick six in the national championship, Chris Smith's 95-yard run back on that punt block, and then Jalen Carter holding that guy up, the quarterback up in the air. I'll never forget those plays. So just absolutely awesome. One thing I'm going to remember about this particular game is that Kirby Smart never took his foot off the gas. And I feel like that's a mistake that we've made in the past. And we need to keep our foot on the gas. Let's just be honest. These teams that we're going to play going forward, they can score points. And we've got to be able to go on a boat race. And I think the reason that Kirby scored that went for that 2-point conversion at the end is just to show people that, hey, we can score points whenever we want to. There's no doubt about it. You put us in a corner, we're going to come out and smack you in the mouth. So I just think that's the reason why we went for 2 points there at the end of the game, to get that 50 up on the scoreboard and make people realize you're dealing with the real deal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get into some of our awards here. What do you say? Our team, here's all SEC first team. There's some names on this list that I don't know how they got there, but obviously Jalen Carter being at the top of the list on defense is an obvious one. The one I don't understand is this Kool-Aid McKinstry, how he made the first team. That just I don't get it, but I guess it's because the A is out beside his name. That's probably why. And then our second team, all SEC second team, Stetson Bennett there, Ladd McConkey, Darnell Washington. I mean, let's just be honest. He should have been there on the first team. Brock Bowers was on the first team as well, and Warren McClendon was on the first team, and Jack Podlesny. I failed to mention those. I'm sorry. And Chris Smith on defense as well. Ladd McConkey, Cedric Van Pran, which had a fabulous game. You go back and watch the game, guys. He was laying just some fabulous blocks, opening up holes for our running backs. Go back and watch his play. Nazir Stackhouse had a great game. Keely Ringo's on the second team. We're going to need to see him improve. And then I was just absolutely tickled to see this. If you guys can't see the name, but it's William Moat. We met his mom at the Tennessee game. Just an absolute fantastic family, and I was absolutely tickled to see him make all SEC as the long snapper. So kudos to him. The one position that I feel like goes unrecognized is a long snapper until he snaps something over somebody's head, right? It's a very unappreciated position and so critical to what we do on offense. So kudos to him. And then, of course, our own Stetson Bennett, he won the Burlsworth Award for the nation's top walk-on. Just absolutely tickled to him. My cousin Stetson's dad goes to my cousin's church. She sent me this photo she was able to get from him. So nobody else has this picture, guys. Just right here on the Middle Georgia Dog Pound. We have some hookups, let me tell you. We run into people all the time. And so got a photo of Stetson with the Burlsworth Trophy. And if you guys don't know the history behind Brandon Burlsworth, I would just challenge you to go and read up on him. He was a walk-on lineman, was told he would never play for the University of Arkansas, and worked his butt off, and was even a better man off the field than he was on the field. And so because of that, he continued to work, got to start. And then when it came time for the draft, he was the fastest lineman at the draft. because of his work ethic. And he was eventually drafted. I believe it was Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after he was drafted, he was killed in a car wreck, tragically, and so never got to play a snap in the NFL. But it's a wonderful trophy. It's a wonderful program. If you guys didn't get an opportunity to listen in, and I thank John Akaki for sending us the link on that, because we would have missed it. And I definitely am glad that we got an opportunity to hear that. So I pulled down about 3 minutes of Stetson's speech. I know it's going to be a little bit long. As soon as this is over, I'll get another guest on the line here, and we will we'll talk a little bit more about what the game meant to them. But let's run his speech real quick.
Everything about it, and I love being a walk-on because it allowed me to see that, and it allowed me to grow up a little bit when I wasn't grown, coming out. Still not grown. Hopefully I stay a kid forever, honestly. But being a walk-on humbles you. But it also allows me to know you without knowing you, right? Every other award, well, I don't know every other award, but most other awards, I would say, you can look at it and you can imagine that they're a good football player. This one, you can look at it and imagine the person that they are, and you can be right. I assume, Marty, you probably know better than I do, but you can be right nearly 100% of the time, and that's because being a walk-on is not easy. And wow, huge honor. I don't know what to say, but what I do know is that I feel like I know Brandon a little bit, just because we've been there, man, and we've been down. Like, football, growing up, it was the thing that you were best at. It was the thing that you believed in. It was the thing you spent the most time doing. You thought you were pretty good in your hometown, right? And then you walk on to college and come to find out that, hey, this thing that you said you're best at in the world, that you spend the most time at in the world, that you care about in the world, well, it ain't good enough to play here. And so when people talk about Brandon and his legacy, it's hard to remember that, but I think it's important too, because he didn't just run bleachers a lot, right? He didn't just do more push-ups than other people. He came out and thought he had a good practice one day, and then his coach still told him he wasn't good enough, right? And that's a long look in the mirror. That's dark when you get down that road. But that's why he's so special, because he took that mirror and he broke it over his knee, and he became an All-American, and he got drafted. And so, again, thank you, Marty, Miss Vicky. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all, too, for being studs. And
Just awesome, man. You could tell that Stetson got choked up there. But, guys, if you don't know Stetson Bennett's story, and I told the guys earlier this before we came on the show, we're experiencing history, guys. We'll never see this happen again. I mean, I swear to you, we'll never, ever see this happen again. This guy walked on to Georgia as a preferred walk-on, was told he would never start, said, hey, we'll use you in the scout team. Hey, we'll use you. Hey, can you emulate
Baker
Mayfield for the Rose Bowl? Goes out, balls out, has the defense saying that kid's a baller. He's still told that he's not going to start. So he leaves, goes to Jones Junior College, is there for a year, balls out, and he gets a scholarship offer from Louisiana Lafayette, is about to take it when Kirby Smart calls him and says, hey, come back to Georgia and I'll put you on scholarship. Comes back to Georgia, and is told, hey, you're not going to be the starter. But he continues to work. He continues to put in the effort. He's told that Jamie Newman and what was the other guy? Dwan Mathis were going to be the starters ahead, with first 1 and 2 ahead, and never takes a first team snap. Then, right at the beginning of the season, Dwan Mathis is named the starter and goes in and lays an egg against Arkansas. And Stetson Bennett is put in the game ahead of Carson Beck. And everybody's freaking out that Stetson Bennett's been put in the game ahead of Carson Beck. But the guy comes in and pulls out a win for us, which was huge. The only game he lost as a starter that year was against Alabama at Alabama. And I don't know of anybody else that could have done any better. But then he's pulled out, and he loses the starting job again, and is given to JT Daniels, and is told, hey, you're not going to be the starter. There was never a conversation about him being the starter, but the guy continues to work. The very next year, he's told, hey, you're number 3 quarterback. At that point, I would have left. I would have left this program. But no, he stays there, and he works, and he works, and he works. And JT Daniels gets hurt, and they pull the trigger, ask Bennett to come in against UAB, and he throws 5 touchdowns against UAB. 5 touchdowns. And the kid just continues to work and continues to work, no matter what people say about him, how they talk about him. Oh, he's not tall enough. Oh, he doesn't have the arm strength. Oh, he makes poor decisions. He's this, he's that. He's never going to be good enough. But yet, he stuck with us, and he won us a national championship. And I don't know what else the kid has got to do, but he's a Heisman finalist, and dadgummit, I'm standing with Stetson. I'll ride with Stetson till the day I die. Here's even something that's even more profound. Gary Danielson, who is the biggest freaking Alabama fan in the whole world, he says on the SEC championship, and I can't quite read it, but he says he reads the criteria for the Heisman Trophy, and it says annually recognizes the outstanding college football player whose performance best exhibits the pursuit of excellence with integrity. The winners of this trophy epitomize
great ability combined with diligence, perseverance, and hard work.
And Gary Danielson says, sounds like they're talking about that guy right there. That says a lot to me about a guy that's an Alabama homer to make that type of compliment about Stetson Bennett. And then Aaron Murray goes on this week and says, he tweets out, says, not only is Stetson going to New York City, he's moved into GOAT status at UGA. He's the greatest quarterback in Georgia history. And I honestly believe that. And not only did he put it on a tweet, he goes on national television on the SEC broadcast and reiterates it. And I'll let you guys hear it.
Aaron, help me quantify what Stetson Bennett's done in his career as the starting quarterback at Georgia. Another accolade to add to the resume, an SEC championship. Yeah. Looks good throwing the football on Saturday, full control of the offense. How would you look at him this season, his career, and is he deserving of being in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony?
Oh, 100% he's deserving. I mean, the stats aren't Caleb Williams and guys like that, Max Duggan, but, stats are plenty fine. I remember senior year, A.J. McCarron at Alabama was, I think, second in the Heisman to Jameson Winston, but I would say Stetson's stats are even better, and Stetson's asked to do more in this football team than what AJ was asked to do back in 2013. So he has the wins. He's on the best team in America, which always helps. And I thought he's had some great stats, and he's played really well in big moments. I mean, we always talk about like Heisman-type performances. When do you have those big games? Had that versus Oregon to start the season. Played extremely well versus LSU. Played extremely well versus Tennessee. Like, he has stepped up and played well against some of the best competition in America this year when his number's been called. Unfortunately for him, this is an offense and a team that's kind of said, okay, we're going to play great defense. We're going to run the football. And we're just going to survive because we know we do not need style points. And it's kind of, prohibited him from going out there and throwing for 5 touchdowns a game and getting 300, 400 yards. But like I said, in big-time moments, he continues to have those Heisman-like performances. So, yes, he should definitely be in New York. I would expect that. I think Vegas odds has him as the number 3 guy, 4 guy, so he'll be there because of that. And then just legacy-wise, I said it this past weekend. I put a little tweet out, and I believe this. This isn't me just saying this to say this. You know, what you are brought in to do as a quarterback is lead a football team to championships. And is he as talented as Matthew Stafford? No. Is he as talented as DJ Shockley or Greeny or
Aaron
Fromm
Murray?
or
Yes.
Myself? I think he's kind of in that category because I do think he has great arm strength. He's great mobility. He's a hell of a competitor. But he's done what none of us have done. He's won a national championship. And he's won an SEC championship game, and right now he has an opportunity to win another national championship. That is what you were brought to do, win football games and win championships. And he has done that better than anyone else in Georgia history. So, yes, I put him in a different category and say, hey, he may be considered and should be considered the best quarterback in Georgia history right now.
Yeah, it's just huge, man. You can't ask for a better accolade than that, right? So we put together a few stats here for you guys to look at. This is each one of the top quarterbacks against top 25 teams, and obviously you can see that Stetson has the better percentage rating there. He's 13-0, 5 wins out of 5 games, 73% completion rate. 1,472 yards. The only team that had more yards was Caleb Williams, and that's because they play in the flag football league, as Matt says. 13 TDs, 2 interceptions, and 185.21 QBR rating, and 4 rushing TDs in those top 25 games. And so just says a lot about the kid, and I know he's not going to win, but I'm just so tickled for him to be there because these AP voters, all they're looking at is total stats. They don't look at the complete player, and it's just disappointing that that's not he's not going to win it. But you know what? Like Bill Krug says, the Burlsworth Award symbolizes the most developed athlete. The winner of the award has grown greater than any other award winner in college, i.e., Heisman Award winner has more talent at the beginning. I totally agree with that. What a great statement, Bill. Yeah. You couldn't have said it better, man. And then John Akaki says, heck, they wanted to get Caleb Williams, and he's right. He sure did. He tried to get him. Well, guys, let's. I got somebody wanted to come on the show and share a few thoughts. Let's bring in Josh. Well, Josh, are you there? Somebody wanted to come on the show and share a few thoughts. Let's bring in Josh. All right. Well, that didn't work. So I'm not sure what happened to Josh. We were just hearing ourselves over and over. So, Josh, if you have a pair of headphones, man, turn off the show and just go completely into the link. Don't have the show playing in the background because it's going to play right back over the link that you've got going on there. So, well, let's see. I had one more video that I wanted to share that Ryan McGee did from Marty and McGee. It's called The Ode to Stetson.
Consider for a moment what it must be like to be Stetson Bennett IV. First of all, there's that name, straight out of the country club, who carries himself like he's straight out of the country. And oh, by the way, might be the best quarterback in the country.
Shake and bang, touchdown, Stetson Bennett.
Others have better stats, but not many. Others started college with more stars next to their name. Okay, yeah, pretty much all of them did. But no one tops Bennett when it comes to swagger. That's the only explanation, the only possible way he could have pulled off what he has. As a kid, he dreamed of playing quarterback for Georgia. He walked onto the team and was a scout team star, but soon realized it wasn't going to happen and moved away. Then he came back. Then the job became his. all while so many of the people with whom he once sat in the grandstands of Sanford Stadium doubted that he was the guy who could deliver their beloved Bulldogs to the promised land. They were still screaming at halftime of the national title game that he be benched.
Bennett launching. Mitchell. Touchdown, Georgia! Demons be gone, and the drought is over.
After he outdueled the Heisman Trophy winner to clinch that title, they thanked him and then politely suggested that he move on. He did not. He came back again, and he hasn't lost a game since.
That's with the juice.
Bennett will never forget the small handful of people who stood by him. He will also never forget the very large crowd who did not. And if he is once again the quarterback standing on the big stage in January, you can be assured of this. Stetson Bennett IV will toast them all. He will thank them for the motivation, and then he will carry that swagger out into the night. Perhaps the greatest dog of them all.
"13, baby."
Yeah. If I could, Brian, I'd like to share some thoughts on that.
Go, man.
Stetson is a guy that he doesn't want the accolades. Every time, if you watch his interviews, he even did it at the Bullsworth Trophy presentation. He said he couldn't do it without the guys that are around him. And every time he has been the MVP of the Orange Bowl, the national championship, and now the SEC championship, he always gives the accolades back to the guys that are around him. I think that's what brings the team around him. That's why the team loves him. He fights for the team, not himself. He doesn't want the accolades on himself. Even when he gets them, he pushes them off and puts them back on the team and the guys that are around him. Because even in the interview after the SEC championship, he said he gives it to his offensive line. He said, because he's like, I didn't even get touched this whole game. Nobody touched me. And even when he ran for positive yards and went down. The offensive line kept him off of him. And that's why this team and the team last year loves this kid. He plays for the team, not himself. He wants to win for the University of Georgia and the guys around him. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him special. He doesn't want anything for himself.
Totally agree. John Akaki said Kirby's best trait may be telling someone no. I totally agree with that. And Dad says that Stetson just wants to win, and I agree with that. Josh Hill says SB4, just go play. I like it. Well, guys, we are running long. Let's boogie through this thing so we can get off. Did not want to miss mentioning the fact that our offensive line is up for the Joe Moore Award. They were snubbed last year, and it was given to Michigan. This year, we're in a head-to-head battle against Michigan for the Joe Moore Award. And so I feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to pull that one out. Big kudos to Jack Podlesny, Special Teams Player of the Year for the SEC. That is just huge. I think Podlesny was, 23 of 26 or something on field goals, and then can't remember. It's like 56 or 57. It was some crazy number for PATs. It's wild. He was 100% perfect on PATs. So just big kudos to him. And then, of course, right before we came on, Coach Smart named the SEC Coach of the Year. Just absolutely deserves it. And for any team to lose 15 guys to the draft and then go undefeated the next year, any coach should be the Coach of the Year. That is for sure. Well, guys, we're going to be Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl bound here in a few weeks. Look forward to seeing everybody out at the house. I'll get a post out on the Facebook page of what we're going to be doing, but we'll definitely be here. Fellas, you guys got any final comments before we sign off?
No, I'm just I'm looking forward to this game with Ohio State. It's going to be fun. I think that everybody from that conference is not giving Georgia a chance. They think Ohio State's going to come in and beat Georgia, but I think we know otherwise. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a huge game, and I'm actually glad it's not TCU. I'm glad it's Ohio State, so we can once again prove the naysayers wrong, like we did with Michigan last year. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yep, totally agree. Matt, you got anything, bud?
Yeah, just echoing what Kevin said. I mean, everyone keeps saying that Georgia got the worst pick. That's the one team that could beat them. They got. And we'll see what happens though, right? I mean, if they're saying that Georgia and Michigan are so much alike on offense and defense, well, what did Michigan do to them? So I don't understand what they're coming from. But one thing I would like to call out, we didn't talk about earlier, but one thing we can look at, and then there's not a huge, big stat or big thing, but look how many true freshmen played in that game against LSU. We had 11 true freshmen, not redshirt freshmen, true freshmen play in that game. This goes back to what you said at the beginning of the year, Brian, of all these people now who are going to exodus coming this in this season. We're going to have all those extra snaps that have already been played in big time games that are just springboarding us to, like you said, the next decade. It's going to be a great ride.
Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. Well, guys, we'll send this thing out right. At this time, 126 teams have been sent home with no shot at the national championship. And our dogs are back on top, and we've got a shot to win this thing. So, guys, we'll be back on here. I'm Brian, for Matt, Kevin, and the Middle Georgia Dog Pound, and all you guys out there. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!